Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the YouTube channel Redolessence. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate your support. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And in today's episode, I'm going to be going over my top 10 best Valentine's Day fragrance recommendations for you this Valentine's Day. So stay tuned. Valentine's Day is obviously a day when you want to warm up or cozy up with your loved one, possibly want to go out on a date, do something, special for that significant other in your life. And so I looked through my collection and I tried to narrow it down to 10 fragrances that I would absolutely recommend for somebody to wear on Valentine's Day. Hopefully you have a decan of one of these fragrances in your collection. Hopefully you own one of these fragrances, or hopefully you're looking to go out there and purchase one of these fragrances for your significant other. I do want to apologize for the video being put out so late, but hopefully, like I said, you have one of these and you can actually readily wear it on Valentine's Day. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time. These are my top 10 personal favorite Valentine's Day fragrance recommendations. So starting things off with number 10 is one that I absolutely love. I had the opportunity to review this one, and I can tell you how much I enjoy this one every single time that I wear this one. And this is a rose dominant scent. So you're going to get a lot of rose in this fragrance. And of course, rose is an ingredient that always seems to evoke, romance and sensuality. This one by Tiziana Terenzi is called Porpora. And I know I recently did a video with my good friend Carlos. I featured this fragrance in the video. They were in no particular order, but in terms of how often I wear this one, I think the thing with this one is that although I do consider it to be perfectly unisex, I think a lot of people would argue that it leans a little bit feminine because it's a little bit on the floral side, but I don't really care. I wear this one whenever. I love this one. From the house of Tiziana Terenzi, Porpora is a beautiful, natural smelling rose-based fragrance. The next one on this list is one of the most versatile, one of the most mass appealing scents. Definitely has sort of like not a mainstream or commercial vibe, but it does have this mass appealing aura about it. But you can tell there's something in there that is very indicative of the quality that frequently comes from this house. And this one by Xerjoff is called Ouden Overload. So at the same time, I'm trying to pick very practical fragrances. I know not regarding the price point, but I'm trying to pick very practical fragrances in terms of fragrances that will actually make you smell good, that will make you attractive, or that will help you just smell amazing when you're out on a date, right? So a lot of these, yes, they do have rose in it. And of course, rose sort of conjures up feelings or thoughts of Valentine's Day. This one has no rose in it, obviously, but it definitely gives off this vibe where it's like it's very clean, it's very sophisticated. It has that citrus in there. The way that only Xerjoff knows how to do citruses is just so well done. Definitely a sexy scent. So I would recommend you check this one out if you're a fan of these styles of scents. And the next one on this list is a vanilla dominant scent. Whenever I think of vanilla, I know vanilla is often viewed as being an aphrodisiac. I always think of just a very cozy, warm, comforting kind of a scent that always sort of has this magnetic quality, right? This magnetism that just lures people in. I love this fragrance so much. This is my absolute favorite from the house. And even if I do get into a discussion with somebody, I'll probably fight them tooth and nail and let them know that this is the best fragrance from this house. This is a must-have in anybody's collection, especially now that you can find it pretty much anywhere. This is Carlisle from the house of Parfum de Marly. So this used to be a Harrods exclusive in London. It was $350. You could find it online now. This is an amazing scent, the best that this house has to offer. And it's a vanilla rich scent. There's a spicy component as well. So it doesn't smell cloying or overly juvenile or anything like that. But it really does smell wonderful. It happens to be one of my favorites of all time. And so I love this one, especially around this time of the year when you still have that brisk air outside. It just does so tremendously well. And then moving on to the next one. This one is by the house of Heretic Parfum. This is an all-natural fragrance. And so if that's your thing, if you're into all-natural perfumes, this is one that you might want to keep on your radar. So this one is called Pistol Whip. So coincidentally, this one doesn't have any rose in it. It has some other floral ingredients in it, but there's just something about this one that's so romantic to me. It's a very romantic, sensual, yet playful kind of a scent. There is a little bit of an ambery sweetness in the dry down, which I actually find very intriguing. Every single time I wear this one, I always look for that sweet, sort of complex ambery base in the dry down. Pistol Whip, awesome, awesome fragrance. Check it out. Whoa, okay. I just saw the next one. The next one on this list is one that I have been wearing a lot lately, and it's one that has a raspberry note in there. And so it's always interesting when you can utilize an ingredient that is not, at least the way that it smells in this scent is so different from any other berry type scents that I've ever encountered. This one by Nishan Istanbul is called Vain and Naive. This is actually done by the same nose who brought you this one. So Chris Carbonell is the perfumer for this one, and this one is awesome, 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 awesome. It's basically rose and raspberry with like a musky undercurrent. So if you're a fan of the more sensual, kind of sweet types of scents without being gourmandish, really, because you wouldn't need a rose, I think it's awesome. You should definitely check it out. I love it. The next one on this list, yeah, I'm gonna go with this one next. So this one is an all-time favorite of mine. Some of you probably saw it missing, so you might have seen it missing right here. This one by Amouage is Lyric Man. So this is rose, incense, lime. It's so complex. There's so much going on in here, but the rose note that you smell in here is one of the best rose notes that I've ever gotten my nose on. It's so refreshing, but there's this complexity. You got the incense, that silver frankincense note that Amouage just does so tremendously well. And the good news is that you can also find it discounted for a very good price. So look around, check it out. So this next one, I've actually worn on a few dates. So my wife and I occasionally, you know, we like to go to Hoboken, New Jersey. A lot of our favorite restaurants are located in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I wear this one all the time, especially around this time of the year. So there's this chocolatey patchouli note that's going on in here. You also have this, I believe it's a magnolia note. So it's floral, it's chocolatey, it's warm, it's rich. This one from the house of Nasomato is called Pardon. And this is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I'm having a hard time deciding if this is my favorite Nasomato fragrance. It might be Duro. It might be this one. You know, Black Afghano is the one that gets talked about a lot, but I wouldn't call it my favorite. But I love this one. Pardon by Nasomato. If you haven't smelled it, if all you know from Nasomato is Black Afghano, Alessandro Gottieri as a perfumer is very talented. So the next fragrance on this list is one that has been around for a very, very long time. I think like 8 years now or something like that. And again, this just shows that the variety that I'm trying to include in this list is not just fragrances that evoke the smell of Valentine's Day, so roses and chocolate, but also fragrances that are very applicable, fragrances that you can wear when you're going on a date that have a proven batting average, that have done really, really well for people. And this one just so happens to be the most complimented fragrance in my entire collection. And just saying something like that, I think it also makes people's radars blip. And so this one from the House of Creed is Creed Aventus. And so you guys know the deal with this one. You have this pineapple freshness in the opening, birch tar, which lends a sophisticated masculine appeal. But of course, it's done differently. It's not conventional. And this is one of the most cloned fragrances to date. And so Creed Aventus has done really, really, really well for itself. If you're not familiar with this one, you've probably been living under a rock, but definitely check it out. This is one that I would personally wear on a date when I definitely want to give off the best version of myself. The next one that I'm gonna introduce to you guys is one that I have actually grown to love so much in the past few months, I would say. I've actually reviewed this one a long, long time ago with my good friend Carlos, and at the time I remember really, really liking it. I was able to discern the complexity of the ingredients. I was able to pick up on some ingredients in there that really tickled my nose hair, so to speak. The vanilla, there's sandalwood in there too. But I think the apprehension initially came from the fact that there are white florals in here. here. So I know there's a stigma of white florals potentially being feminine in the case of like maybe gardenia or something like that, but there's just something about this one that is so romantic and so opulent. And this one definitely has that sensual undercurrent that's coming from the vanilla. What an amazing fragrance to wear when you're going on a date. It just has this sort of delicate nature about it, but it has the complexity, it has the vanilla, the sandalwood. This one by Initio is called Blessed Baraka. This is such an incredible fragrance. Some people have said it's in the wheelhouse of like Leighton by Parfum de Marly. I can actually see what they mean in regards to that. But there's just something about this one that I find to be a little bit more complex than Leighton. So getting into my number one spot, this is a fragrance that epitomizes Valentine's Day. And so whenever I think of Valentine's Day year after year, this is one that I can tell you how often it comes to mind. And this is one that I've actually been wearing kind of carefully just because there's no other fragrance in my collection that quite smells the way that this one does. And so it's not that I'm afraid of running low. It's not discontinued or anything like that, but this is by, it was right underneath your nose. You didn't know it. This one by Mancera is called Roses and Chocolate. I mean, just everything about this scent is Valentine's Day. The smell, the name, the bottle. It really smells like a box of chocolates delivered to someone along with like a bouquet of roses. Now, the rose that's in here is a rose that is very similar to the one that you'll find in a lot of other Montal or Mancera compositions. And so if you're familiar with that, you kind of have a pretty good idea, you know, it's going to be in that same wheelhouse. But the chocolate note that's in here is so well done. I really, really love this one. It's so romantic. It screams romance. And this is, I'll admit, like from time to time, I do think to myself, wow, this is like more of a novelty scent than anything else. But truth be told, it's a great scent. I love wearing it. And if you haven't tried it, at the very least, get a sample for yourself and check it out for yourself. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to do a giveaway. So basically, leave one comment down below. Let me know, what are you going to be doing this Valentine's Day and what fragrance do you plan on wearing? And then I'm going to pick the winning comment in 1 week's time. I'm going to pin the winner's comment to the top of the comment thread, and the winner will get a 5 ml decant of whichever fragrance you want from the fragrances that I spoke about today. Thank you for watching, guys. If you are new to this channel, if you took something of value, I would love your subscription. Click the red subscribe button in the corner. This way, whenever I do put out future fragrance-related videos, they will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future content. Thanks, guys. I love you. We'll see you on the next holiday. Bye.